Hello children. So today in this video I am going to explain you about the five kingdoms. All of if you just know that the kingdoms has been divided into five category, that is kingdom Monera, Protesta, Fungi, Plante, kingdom Animalia. So this kingdom Plante, it comprises of plant kingdom. Okay, this kingdom Animalia, don't get confused, it is animal kingdom. Okay, so now here we are one by one we are going to deal with the characteristics of each kingdom. For example, they are unicellular, that means they are made up of one cell, single cell. Okay, they are primitive, that means very old, you can say like that. And what happened, their nucleus is not very well organized. As you all know now, the nucleus is the main function and main controlling unit of any organisms. So whoever are the members of this kingdom Monera na, they don't have very well defined nucleus and other cell components. For example, there are different cell components, the mitochondria, ribosomes, okay, centrosomes. So many cell organelles are present over there, na, cell components. So they have cell wall. Okay, all of you know, it's very prominent in the plant cell. You must have dealt with the plant cell and animal cell now in the last classes. In class 6, class 5, you have been studying plant cell and animal cell. Okay, so you must have observed in the plant cell, na, the outermost layer, the outermost boundary is known as the cell wall. So similarly, this whoever the members of this Monera kingdom, they have a cell wall. They can be autotroph or heterotrophs. That means they can prepare their food by their own, or they can be dependent on others for their food. Okay. Now second is kingdom Protesta. So here also the organisms are unicellular. That means they are made up of single cell. They have very well defined nucleus, that means the nucleus is very well functional. And again, they can be preparing their food by their own, or some of them are dependent on others for their food. Now kingdom Fungi, they can be unicellular or multicellular, that means they can be made up of single cell or made up of more than one cell. Okay, when an organism is made up of one cell, they are known as the multicellular organism. And they have a well defined cell wall. That means the cell wall is very well defined. Okay, now they are heterotrophs, that means they depend on others for their food when they grow in the damp and the moist places. Now kingdom Plantae, they are the multicellular organisms, that means what you say, they are made up of more than one cell. And all of you know, in the plant cell the cell wall is very prominent, and they are autotrophs, that means they can make their food by their own. All of you know na, plants prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight, in the presence of favorable sunlight, water, nutrients from the soil. Okay, and the chlorophyll. Now animal kingdom, they are multicellular, that means they are made up of more than one cell, and they do not have cell wall. Okay, the outermost membrane is the cell membrane. And they are heterotrophs, that means they are dependent on others for food, like we human beings. Animals, they are dependent on plants or plant products, okay, or other animals for their food. Okay, now children, one by one we will be dealing with the different kingdoms. Now we will be dealing with kingdom Monera. So this kingdom Monera has been originated by a Greek word which means moneres, which means single. Okay, single, one. Okay, so bacteria is the only member of this very kingdom. And what is happening, they are very abundant. Okay, bacteria are present everywhere, they are omnipresent. Okay, and they are visible only when we use a microscope. Although you are just holding the pen now, you are holding the books, we are holding the cell phone, everywhere the bacteria are present, but we are not able to see them. Why? Because they are very small, we can see them only through the microscope. So, and they are found in different area, whether it's a desert, it's a moist place, it is a damp place, okay, it is a snow place, deep oceans, everywhere different kind of bacteria are present. So what happened children, on the basis of the different kind of shapes, the bacteria are of four types: coccus, plural is cocci; bacillus, plural is bacilli; vibrium, comma, plural is vibrio; okay, spirillum, and the plural is spirilla. So according to their shapes they has been named. And you can see na cocci is circular in shape, bacillus it's just like in the shape of capsule, okay, vibrio just like the shape of comma, spirillum just zigzag kind of structures, okay. What, so now we are going to read to the structure of this bacteria. They are unicellular, that means they are made up of only one cell, okay. And now they are prokaryotic as they lack true well defined nucleus, okay. They are lacking the proper nucleus, okay, very scattered, you know, they don't have a single very hi-fi functional unit, that is lacking in them. Now they have other membrane ball organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, they are not present, okay. All of you know they are microscopic because we can't see them by naked eyes. They have very, you know, very hard shell wall, and they have a structure like flagella which help them in the motion, okay, in the movement from one place to another. And they are very important because bacteria are very very important because they are the best decomposers for something. Just take the example, if something is waste, so bacteria they just convert it into the simplest form, okay. So they are also can be regarded as the cleaners of the natures, okay, the cleaning agent of the nature. So this here the bacteria cell is given. This flagella you can see in a children, this flagella is helping the bacteria to move. This is the plasma membrane, this is the cell wall, okay, it's very hard. Now there is a capsule, very sticky kind of coating. Now this is the DNA, a very small outgrowth is present, okay, that also help them in holding something or in the movement, that is known as pili, okay children. That is all about the bacteria cell. Now nutrition. So they are autotrophic, that means they prepare their own food, okay, by using some inorganic substances, okay. Photoautotrophs or chemoautotrophs, that means in the presence of light they are able to make their own food, or in the presence of certain chemicals also they are able to prepare their own food. And what is happening, but a large majority, a major portion is heterotrophs, that means they don't depend, they can't prepare their own food, they are dependent on other organisms for their food. And the bacteria, how they reproduce, how they multiply, by the binary fission. Binary fission, so bi means two, that means a bacteria simply divide into two, and that's why this process is known as the binary fission. A single bacteria they will divide into two, and then they will form the two different bacteria, okay, that's why it's known as binary fission. And what happened when the condition is not favorable, okay, so what they do, they can't go for the binary fission, they produce by formation of the spore. As I told you, they will form very small seed like structure and they will reproduce. And these bacteria spores, they are very very tough, okay. It can withstand extreme climate if it's too hot or it is too cold, but still these bacteria or spores they can survive, and when the condition will get favorable now for their growth, then they will grow. So dear children, we are surrounded, as I told you, we are all surrounded by the bacterias, and actually bacterias are friend also and foe also. Foe means enemy. So there are certain bacteria which is very helpful for us, but there are certain bacteria also which are harmful for us. So this harmful bacteria, they are known as the pathogens, okay, and they live in the body of the host, okay. And what they do, they cause different kind of diseases by producing certain kind of toxic waste, okay, which is known as toxins. So for example, mycobacterium tuberculosis, they causes TB, okay. Now salmonella typhi, they causes typhoid, and because of these very bacteria sometimes the person loses their life also. And but there are certain useful bacteria also, that includes lactobacillus, bacillus panniculus, okay. They play a very important role in the formation of pickle, okay, अचार जो मम्मा बनाती है, in this they are helpful when your mother makes curd, okay. In genetic engineering also, in making of biofuels also. There is one cyanobacteria, as all of you know that for nitrogen fixation in plant is able to make the food, no, they need also nitrogen compounds to be present in the soil. So the cyanobacteria, they are present in the root nodules of the plant, of leguminous plant, okay, for example bean. And वो soil में ये जो important nitrogenous substance चाहिए soil को, they provide, okay. They are equally bacteria, they are present in our intestine. Okay, they help in the digestion of the foods. Now children, there are the bacteria, there are some diseases name plus the bacterial name has been given over here. You are supposed to learn it, plus the bacterial name and the uses of it has been given, that also you are supposed to learn it. That is your homework, table 2.1 and table 2.2. Okay children, thank you.